Yo, what's good, Spirit Squad? It's Dre, and today we're going to be talking about Simic Spirits in Pioneer. Now, this is going to be a bit of a throwback to last year, and I even played this deck for a little bit, to some pretty good results. The deck was A1 then. But now we're going to explore in the world of 2021. So, the reason we're exploring Simic Spirits after such a long time, it's actually almost been a year now, is that somebody just got a trophy with it last week. Check out this deck list. And it's really cool. Like, this deck hasn't been seen in like a year. It hasn't really been explored too much. We haven't really been talking about it. But the fact that we did get to see somebody jump in, grab a trophy, and, be excited about it brings room for discussion. And we have a vastly different metagame than what happened in 2020. And the biggest deal is that Spirits is actually the top deck in all of Pioneer, making Simic Spirits a pretty reasonable choice anyway, because Spirits is already a great shell in Pioneer. But specifically green gives you access to a really good mirror breaker. So we've got a few cool tools going on here. And for anybody who's never played with or against Simic Spirits before, here's a deck list. Now, in this deck list, we've got your basic spirit stuff. So we've got Mausoleum Wanderers, Spectral Sailors, Supreme Phantoms, the works, right? But a lot like mono blue spirits, this deck gets to play cards like Curious Obsession. And because Curiosity doesn't exist in Pioneer, the other two copies of your Curious Obsessions are going to be 6 cents here. Almost the same thing. Not quite, though. But another cool thing that you got when playing green was Blossoming Defense, which you definitely want as a 4 of. So Blossoming Defense is going to give you +2/+2 and hexproof on one of your creatures. So you can suit up with a Curious Obsession, they respond with like a Fatal Push or a Wild Slash or whatever. You Blossoming Defense, their plan sucks, you still get your Obsession, you hit them, you draw a card, your opponent cries. It's a pretty good time. And the +2 power on Blossoming Defense is actually really big game, because sometimes you'll just, get blocked like some other creatures fly into format, like, I don't know, say Elite Spellbinder, for example. So the +2 power will help you really just win a lot of combat trades too, because +2 power takes us from just having a bunch of fancy welcome turns into being real legitimate threats that must be respected in the middle of combat too. So Blossoming Defense was definitely an all-star, and I think I really like this idea. So I actually went ahead and played earlier this week a quick league with Simic Spirits, and the deck performed really well too. We got off to a great 4-0 start, and we did lose the last round, but honestly, going 4-1 in a league when your very first, go around, when you haven't played a deck in almost a year, that means that this deck is powerful. It's strong. You can do a lot of really cool stuff. And I think it bodes well for the time to come too. And another great thing to have when you're playing green is actually the sideboard. Because, of course, when you're playing blue-white spirits or even banned spirits, you're a little bit constricted in either the colors provided by blue-white or the fact that banned spirits necessarily really want creatures with CMC 3 or less, so that you can actually continue to have good hits with Collected Company. Simic Spirits has none of that issue. It also doesn't even have the limits that mono blue spirits does, where you're stuck with only one color option. Here you get some really cool tools, and you can play all kinds of things to try to break the spirit's mirrors. And my favorite card of this list is going to be Skylasher, because Skylasher is an absolute beating against the Spirit's Mirror. It's going to be a 2/2 flash uncounterable reach creature that has protection from blue. That basically says beat target Spirits deck. And the other cool green tool that I'm choosing to play here is going to be Nighrpack Ambusher, and this thing was a super all-star in Standard back in the day. And the person who played this deck to a trophy finish was only playing one at a time. I played 2 in the league, and it was absolutely wonderful. Like, Nighrpack Ambusher was just as good as we remembered it in Standard. This card was the absolute truth. And I've actually ticked it up to a 3rd Nighrpack Ambusher, because I think this card's really powerful against the decks where you really want it. So it's going to be great against, say, the blue-black controls of the world. It's going to be good against the other aggro decks of the world, where, like, sometimes you just want a bunch of bodies to be able to win combat. And that's going to be really good there. So I'm playing a full 3 copies of these because hitting 4 lands when you're playing both a slower format like Pioneer, where you can actually expect to get to turn 6 and 7 more often than you would in, say, Modern, and a deck where you're drawing cards along the way by virtue of playing Curious Obsession and Sixth Sense, hitting your 4th land drop with a 20 land deck isn't even unreasonable in Pioneer. So I'm playing a full 3 copies of Nightpack Ambusher. The other cards that we're playing here are going to be a full 4 copies of Mystical Dispute, and that's going to be a big testament to the fact that most of the really good decks that are on top of Pioneer right now are blue. So Spirits, of course, like I said, is on top of the format because, well, I've been telling y'all, we're the best tribe. It's great.
Why you booing me? I'm right.
Also, you have things like, is it Phoenix, which most of the deck is blue. You get to play against Niv Mizzet, that's a lot of blue, and Blue-Black Control. That's a lot of blue. With so much blue on top of the format, there's almost no reason for us to not snap slam in copies of Mystical Dispute into our sideboard. And everything else is just kind of to help you and handle things. Like we've got a 3rd Spell Pierce, a couple of Aether Gusts, and some Grafdigger's Cage because we really don't want to be on the other end of the Dreadhorde Arcanist deck. But that's going to be our deck list here. And I think what I'm going to do here is jam more of this deck over the weekend. I might even play a Pioneer Challenge if I have time to do so. I am really confident in this deck. I think it performed great last year, and with all of the fine-tuning and stuff that we're bringing to 2021, I think it has the ability to perform well again this year. So if you think you agree, let me know right in the comments, hey, this is a deck I've played, or this is a deck I haven't seen in a while. Either way, let me know. If you think that I'm playing, say, too many Nightpack Ambushers, not enough lands, not enough counterspells, hey, let me know what you think. But if you like the video, give a quick like on it, subscribe to the channel, and I will see y'all on the next one.